BMW M440i versus Audi S5. No matter if you're interested in the coupe or in the convertible, this comparison review will tell you everything you need to know about the BMW 4 Series against the Audi A5 in this very, very special version each. And also this comparison review has a deeper meaning to it, because you've asked me, Thomas, can you bring us back the fun? Can you bring us back the joy? Sorry about that. I mean, what's happening in the automotive industry? Plug-in hybrids that are supposed to be sustainable, but they're really not. Then capacitive buttons all over the place, screens from here to here. Then 6 cylinders being thrown away, only 4 cylinders, even 3 cylinders. Let's cut that BS just for a second and enjoy pure automotive feeling, beginning with the new BMW 4 Series with a huge front grille. Look at that. Really massive. I think you get used to it, especially when you see it live, and even more massive when you don't have a country where the number plate is mandatory right here. Sanremo green is the color here for today. And we have the headlamps, which have a nice daytime running light. LED standard, optional, even these adaptive laser lights with the blue accentuations. Whereas we have the turbo blue, a typical Thomas blue with the Audi S5. And this huge single frame grille as well. So the grille here is actually larger, even though everything seems to be larger with the BMW. And also a very spectacular daytime running light. The Audi has a more, let's say, tech design, I would call it that way. A normal A5 already with normal LED. And then here the S5 matrix LED is standard, and optional you can also get matrix LED with laser light also for the Audi. And here this Quattro citations of the very first Quattro model. This is closed here, but just a design clue. And the S5 always has sporty bumper, for example, here with the contrast in the lower part. The rear comparison is also super interesting. You can see once again, just like in the front, the Audi is stressing the width a little bit more, and also, let's say, builds a little bit flatter, and once again has this more tech look in the light signature, whereas the BMW is a little bit higher, especially here in this area, and appears slimmer and more has these sensual lines here from the tail lamps. And fake exhaust outlet for the Autogefühl fake exhaust police. Yet it goes through, but the outer tip is fake and 2 pipes, whereas more massive and sportier style for the Audi. These are 4 real exhaust, so we have double the pipes and also real, and then with the chrome. So exhaust, design-wise, the Audi clearly wins it. Design-wise, it's really tricky. I mean, they're different, different approaches, I would call it. Which one is your favorite? I think the wider stance of the Audi makes it a little bit, just stronger and sportier. The length here, 4.77 meters or 188 inches with the BMW 4 Series convertible, or also the coupe. Here is the M440i with the accentuations here, the contrasting side mirrors and the M badge right here. 19-inch wheels in a very interesting style, contrasting blue brake calipers. This is a very sporty look, right? I love these two-tone wheels right here. Now, would you have guessed, by the way, that the BMW is actually a little bit longer? Well, it appears right here in this area because it also has some kind of a longer wheelbase, around 8 centimeters or 3 to 4 inches longer here, the BMW. But what they have managed very, very well, I think, is here, the convertible roof, soon also to be opened. Here, look at that. It has this stretch that almost looks coupe-alike. Really flat, and you don't see any bar or something. We also have 19-inch wheels here for the Audi, like this, and then the S5 badge, and they also use contrasting colors here, the typical S chrome look, I would call it that way, also around the window, and here at the A pillar looks really striking, especially in contrast to the blue. And here you can see also good integration of the convertible roof, but you can see this bar here, the last bar, a little bit more clearly than with the BMW. So roof integration better with the BMW. here, both with a very strong design line in this area, and you can see it maybe from this angle that the Audi is just a little bit shorter. And now convertible roof opening test here with both vehicles. Thomas B, my cameraman, is in the other vehicle, and then we'll simultaneously hit the button. I'll give it a sign for the let's go. So let's see which one is faster. Let's go! The race is on, and let's see which one opens first. I think, oh, this is really parallel. Come on, come on, come on! Let's go! Oh, this will be very close, I think. Yes, I think Thomas B won. But I was a little bit faster with the windows open here up, but that was really close, right? And now one more perspective when both tops are opened. What a beautiful perspective, right? This is really lovely. Would you take the blue pill or the green pill? Tell me in the comments. It's such a tough decision for today. Yeah, already exterior wise, definitely. What about the interior and of course driving? Will the driving part today decide this one? And now the favorite battle of the trunks. Let's open both. Here, the Audi and with the BMW. And the interesting thing here, first of all, you see here the opening of the BMW is a little bit shorter when we compare this one here. So this is about 39 inches or about a meter. Whereas here with the Audi, we're here at 42 inches and more than a meter. So this is more flexible, so better opening for the Audi. As for length, when you go the middle part, not the same way in the outside, but the length, 1 meter 10 or 43 inches. That is more or less the same with both. Once again, when you use the middle part here, slightly longer with the BMW, 44 inches or 1 meter 12. But here, this is when the roof can be opened. And you have these edges right here, they're round. Then you can manually push it in, and then you have the full capacity here, which is at 385 liters with the BMW and 380 liters, 5 liters less with the Audi. Here with the electronic function, that's the way. But when it is in the other setting, so this original setting, then the Audi is at 320 liters, whereas the BMW at 300 liters. So the Audi overall a little bit better as for the trunk, and also you do this electric function. You don't have to close it manually. So let's say you have it in this position, and then you're opening the roof from the front. It automatically goes back, whereas with BMW, you always have to go to the back and manually put it back again. And there's also a security mechanism. So for example, when I have this first aid kit here above that, and then I activate this one from the inside or from here, it squeezes it a little bit, but then it goes back again. And loading things through, possible for both, but here you see with the BMW, a little bit limited how you can reach things through. And here you can see it a way wider opening for the Audi S5 convertible. Now to the interiors. Both have seatbelt reaches right here. Looks a little bit more premium with the BMW, soon coming to that. But look at that here in the interior overview. Clean and beautiful design. More, subtle design with the Audi right here. S-line steering wheel, perforated sides. Digital instruments 12.3 inch, soon more details to that, and 10.1 inch touchscreen in the middle part. Since the facelift of the A5 series, just the touch, that's a little bit different with the BMW, but to me the coolest thing is still with the manual climate dials, and we soon have also more details to that. It can be easily put out like this. And the interesting thing here with the Audi is it has a shorter wheelbase than the BMW, but you have more space in the rear. I'm soon going to show you that as well. Let's directly hop over to the BMW, see how it plays out there. This is here also a seatbelt reacher, but with this chrome or galvanized feature, a little bit more premium alike. We can also put out the wind deflector like this. Easy solution. And you see, you don't have too much space left here after the driver's seat, although we have the longer wheelbase. That's a little bit astonishing. The interior is more central, I would say. It's more like, hey, welcome home. So it has more emotion to it, whereas the Audi interior, as I said, is a little more subtle, more technology oriented. But as for the tech, the same 12.3-inch screen, at least for the size here on the left side, not as adaptive as in the Audi. And on the right side, 10.25-inch, so both actually same screen sizes, left and right, all digitalized. Nice matte wood interior right here. So styling wise, I would prefer the one of the BMW. Functionality wise, the Audi one is also really good. Seating position here in the BMW 4 Series convertible as the 440i. It's less sporty than in the Audi, I would say, although we have, the integrated sports seats right there. This changes, of course, a little bit, but in general, the seating position is a little bit more upright. Also, if you compare this one, by the way, to BMW Z4, the Z4 is a little bit sportier. It's still somewhat comfortable. You can also drive this one long term. But as I said, this a little bit more design oriented, I would say, whereas the Audi is a little bit more functionality oriented. The biggest difference is really that you can still have this control knob here in the lower part, that you can also control the touchscreen here from the lower part and not only with touch on the upper part. Steering wheel also with the manual control right here, and it has this thicker M design, definitely. You can argue for both, but the most crucial difference in steering will be while driving. Instruments. Yay! Here we go, and counterclockwise RPM, and I think, well, meanwhile I got used to it. Once again, it's somewhat logical in a way that when you have this orientation in the middle part, you still have space, for example, for GPS information when you have set these. And here we have the head-up display, which is always a nice option. Heated steering wheel. Infotainment system here with the map data and pinch and zoom works quite well. It's also responsive enough with the latest BMW iOS, and this is also then supporting not only Apple CarPlay but also Android Auto. The Apple CarPlay is also a good integration, and the sound system here, the Harman Kardon sound system, is really awesome, and it also works perfectly when you have the open top. So yeah, that's a very lovely thing to do. Lower middle console here, open it, nice wood, and then here the inductive charging pad and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto both only wireless. I would like the option wireless or cable, I think. So then here, adaptive cup holders, and then you have the shifting lever, which is doing a great job. Just pull it backwards here for the driving mode. Here you have to unlock it, and then for the driving mode, and back once again for the reverse. And here, this is also good to have, that you control something while driving, and still these hotkeys. Then under the armrest, well attached, some more space and USB-C charging. Seating position in the Audi S5, depending on the market, two seating forms available. The one that are already somewhat sporty but with separate head restraint, and then these ones here that are also standard in the US with the integrated head restraint. And to me, actually, first of all, quite comfortable. When you have the microfiber inside surface available in your market, this will be even more comfortable, because this one here, the quilting of the animal skin surface, looks fancy, but it reduces the comfort, actually, especially long term. But overall, I think it's a good comfort, sportiness compromise. It feels a little bit sportier here, the overall seating position, than in the BMW. And the steering wheel here with the manual control, but very nicely done. And a rather slim approach for the steering wheel, and everything really very well here in your line of sight. Digital instruments in the Audi S5, this is where Audi is leading, I think. Here the map integration all over the place, just beautifully done. You can also switch to views like this. You are just actually more flexible, I think. You can also have a view like this, for example, and also the map just partially, and very clear to read everything. And if you like a more classic look in the virtual instruments, you can change it here in the middle, and then see here on the left side, it changes here to the classic round gauges. And this is, yeah, I think my favorite old school view then. Apple CarPlay integration like this. Here it's not really comparable as for the audio system, because we do not have the optional audio system here in the Audi, but the option is also then very good. Here, there's the CarPlay integration once again, and the Audi MMI looks like this. Everything done via touch meanwhile, since the recent facelift. The good thing is that the menu structure and so on is actually quite simple, so you don't miss this central MMI knob so much. Actually, it's also quite responsive. but it's a thing maybe that some prefer the MMI knobs in the middle part to be able to control it, especially while driving. But as I said, for a touch-only solution, this is actually fairly good. And this is how it's supposed to be. My favorite climate unit in the automotive industry, clicking sound. And it's just so simple, straightforward, way to go. That's how it's done. And I would love to see this one also in the future. But more and more capacitive buttons are being used. Glad that these two vehicles here today still have great solutions for that. The lower middle console here with adaptive cup holders. Then we have the automatic shifting lever right here. This is to open the roof, and then some more space underneath here, also with an inductive charging pad. This will definitely go into the best of Thomas in the rear seat. Thomas in the rear seat. When the wind deflector is still mounted, yeah, I just had to try that once at least. Rear seating comparison here in the Audi. Let's take a look. Audi S5 convertible. And of course, when the roof is open, it's really easier to get inside. But what I want to show you is, this is the seat that I would be driving. And of course, it's cramped somewhat, or more or less, but I can sit here for a shorter period of time. And even better, of course, in the, next to me here, right here, when we push the co-driver seat a little bit more to the front. But definitely more space here in the Audi, you'll see it in direct comparison. And here, the integration of the head restraints is also very well done, because in that way they are all the way low down, and then I can push them up on demand and also have a actually quite comfortable seating position here, so you can drive this one here with 4 adults. Now the rear seat of the BMW, here with an automatic function sliding to the front, but with the Audi you also have a practical button. You can also easily slide it, but it wasn't necessary. But here, when I slide it backwards, then here it gets really close, and even too close, so yeah, that is not ideal. For a very short period of time it would theoretically work, but definitely astonishing. Longer wheelbase, but shorter amount of legroom here in the BMW, so usage of space is not as good as in the Audi. The head restraints are also not that well integrated. They always stand upright like this, but the seating position itself, yeah, I think also the rear the rear area is a little bit more upright, so definitely more comfortable in the Audi. This more or less only 3 tall adult proof, because you can sit behind this seat when you move it a little bit more forward. 4 tall adults for a shorter period of time only. Engines both have an acceleration figure of 4.9 seconds to 1 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. But BMW is using the inline 6-cylinder here for the M Performance model, for the M440i, 380 horsepower for the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder. And AJ, our engine expert, would say inline 6 is way to go. It's actually the best engine. Whereas here with the Audi, a 3-liter V6, so in this V building form then here, with 350 horsepower, so 30 horsepower less, but nevertheless same acceleration figure. And both come with all-wheel drive with a rear-wheel bias each. That's how it's supposed to be, the classic all-wheel drive thing. Let's go. Well, that's 200 kilometers an hour. Let's go.
No destination has been entered yet to which route guidance can be started. Please say searched here.
And that's 200.